How's it going, everyone? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about it's been a minute since I wanted these videos, by the way, but it's the topic for today is the big news. Super League has been announced. The Super League between 12 top clubs, 12 world-class clubs. No one from the Bundesliga, Ligue 1 yet, at least. They said it's 12 teams right now. They said their plans to get 15 and even eventually 20. So naturally, eventually, you would expect the likes of PSG, Bayern to join in eventually if the Super League does go through. Personally, I am not a fan. I never was, and I don't think I ever will be a fan. If you go back, I have videos, older videos talking about Super League. I think 2 weeks in a row I talked about Super League, and when this news was announced, I honestly thought this whole season Super League has come up again and again and again, so it's just kind of been a recurring thing, but nothing's happened, nothing's come of it. So it's just been all talk, no bite, no action, I guess. But so when the news came out, well, there was like rumors a couple days ago. It was like rumors already. Sources were coming out saying a Super League has been worked out, and I was just kind of like, okay, like, sure, because it's just been brushing it off the whole season. So I was like, okay. And then I get a notification on my phone. I have the Chelsea app, the Fifth Stand, and it was a very vague notification. It said like club announcement, club's official statement or something like that. It was really like vague. It was really, really vague. And so I'm like, what? I was like, did they sack Tuchel? So I click on it and look, and sure enough, it's Chelsea announcing that they are being part of this breakaway league. And I mean, it's the likes of, it's the big six from the Premier League. It's, City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea. And then AC Milan, Atletico, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, and Real Madrid. So naturally, the top teams from Serie A, from the Premier League, and from La Liga. And I'm not crazy. My honest opinion is I'm not crazy about this decision. It is just something that will destroy the spirit of the game. It's something that will remove what makes the sport special, and their reasoning behind, this will help the football world pyramid financially and this and that. No, it won't. It realistically is not going to. It's just going to benefit all these teams that are in the Super League and create the gap from these top teams to the lower teams is already big enough. It was already wide enough, and it was just starting to shrink. These smaller sides was not just because of COVID. Even before that, smaller teams were starting to figure out how to get past the bigger sides, and yet with that gap closing, they're doing this, and it's just going to widen the gap. It's going to blast it wide open yet again. One of my biggest problems is the fact that this league is going to get I believe a $4.19 billion grant, which is just too much. Too much for these clubs that already have a lot of money. They already have so much, and now you're gonna even more. You're gonna fund them even more, and it's just gonna push the gap just eternally, just wide open, and it's really frustrating. I was not happy when I saw Chelsea was a part of it. Not at all, honestly. I was very, very disappointed and frustrated. It's why, it's just not necessary. And the backlash has already been, insane. The backlash against this has been crazy. Like, already everyone, Twitter, all the social medias, on everything, it's just been crazy, the backlash. And it makes sense. This is not a good move. You look at today, Leeds Liverpool happened today, and there were protests. Leeds and Liverpool fans protesting against the Super League. You had Liverpool fans saying they were going to take the flags out of Anfield as protests. You had, just so many things. The protests today were crazy because they were burning shirts and stuff like that. Klopp a few years ago, it was 2019, I think. He had made a comment against the Super League, and he stood by it today. Much respect to him, he stood by it today. And that's something people kind of need to understand. Quick note is that this is not like you can tell that the managers, the play, no one at the the player level, I guess, were involved. This was all a business. This was all the higher ups, the owners, and all that. This was them making this decision. You could tell just by the reaction of every manager, Klopp included, Tuchel. It's obvious that they weren't really involved. So this was really like club president decision. It was led mostly by Florentino Perez, the president for Real Madrid. So this was this was the higher ups making this decision, not necessarily the players or the managerial staff or anything like that. And it's just kind of frustrating, I feel like this is going to cause a lot of unrest between the players, the people at the managerial, like I said, the managerial staff, the players, and the higher ups. Could potentially cause unrest in some clubs who, where these players don't want to play in the Super League. You have Jose Mourinho, who made a negative comment towards the Super League, and the next day he's gone. He's no longer the manager for Spurs. It could have been like a thing where he just used that opportunity to get out and save face. But the thing is, the Spurs are 5 days away or something. What's today? Monday. They're just a few days away from the Carabao Cup final, and they just lost their manager. So it's just crazy, the backlash. Mourinho leaving soon after making that comments. You have Herrera from PSG slamming the Super League. You have the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson saying that he's going to do everything in their power to make sure the Super League does not go through. And then of course, with all the UEFA made multiple threats towards the Super League, and understandably so. They're kind of taking away UEFA's main purpose, Champions League, Europa League. But I think one of the biggest threats that UEFA made was that they said they would ban every player who's on a Super League team from playing European international football. So, and it's funny because I saw a picture it was England's squad without players from teams that would be in the Super League, and it was very barren. It was not the same. So that could have huge implications. Not to mention, UEFA said they would kick these teams out of the Champions League, Europa League, of course. Makes sense. And also, the Premier League teams are actually the other 14 that aren't part of the Super League are supposed to meet and decide what they're gonna do. It's supposed to be an emergency meeting, and I just think this was a really. The higher ups must have been really confident, like really cocky about this whole thing, really confident, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. They're really they're just so confident in themselves. It's so full of themselves almost, in a way, so conceited that they thought this would go off without a hitch. It would go off and everyone would be like, oh my god, a Super League, wow. You have Florentino Perez who said he's claiming now the Champions League is, the UEFA is not going to kick the super teams out of the Champions League. So they're that confident. At least, well, I think that's more towards this season. I heavily doubt it. I think except for PSG. So City, Real Madrid, and Chelsea are in the Super League. PSG's not. So kicking those three out would automatically give PSG a Champions League title. So I doubt they'll do it this season, but next season it could be definitely a realistic outcome. But like I said, the Super League teams, or the Super League itself, is apparently going to take legal action against UEFA to try and go back against all this, and it's just a whole mess. Now I've seen multiple sources. Honestly, the amount the grant is going to be for the Super League, I've seen multiple sources: 4.19 billion, 5.5 billion. I saw 6 billion at one point, which, even just the lowest of the low, 4.19, is still just too much for these teams that already have a lot. And that's what's frustrating about this, is the gap is just gonna keep growing. And the main argument for Super League is, well, at least we get these amazing matchups between the top world-class teams again and again. But I feel like that's what makes it special, the fact that they're so rare. Like City versus PSG, how often do you see that matchup? Chelsea versus Real Madrid, how often do you see that matchup? Now we're going to be seeing them, well, not necessarily PSG, but at least Chelsea, Real Madrid, we're going to be seeing that a lot. We're going to be seeing that a lot now, and it's like, well, that's what makes it special, is the chance for these two teams to meet up. But now it's going to be a common thing, and that it hurts what makes those matchups so special, because now it's just going to be, it's Chelsea versus Real Madrid. You know, yeah, maybe the first season of the Super League might be hype, might be, you know, every match is hyped up because you know, it's a bunch of heavyweights going against each other. But then after that, it's just gonna be like, okay, well, Spurs versus Barcelona, you know, City versus FPSG join the league. It's just gonna be like, oh, here they go again. Oh, here they go again. Here they go again. Like I don't like this at all. I really don't, because I mean, another thing that really makes the sport special is when smaller sides, you know, the David versus Goliath storylines, where the smaller sides beat the bigger ones, like Porto Juventus in the Champions League, like when Ajax had their semi-final run, like freaking Salzburg came out of nowhere last season and they didn't beat Liverpool, but they were the first team that season to really challenge Liverpool. I think the final score of that game was like 4-3. And nobody expected Salzburg to do that, and they just came out and actually challenged Liverpool, which, again, no team had really done up to that point. So I think this really just hurts the overall scope of the game. It hurts the world of football. And I'm really disappointed that my club is also a part of it. It's really disappointing. Gonna see out the rest of the season, but I just I can't say that this is gonna be good for the sport. I really can't. There's nothing in me that says this is gonna be good. There's really no part of me that says this is gonna be fun. Aside from, you know, like people keep bringing up the argument. Aside from, you know, seeing Liverpool versus Madrid, or, you know, Barcelona versus Juventus again and again. I mean, sure, that's gonna be cool for a bit, but it's just gonna lose that special touch. You know, that what makes it so special, what makes those matchups so special. You know, it's just really frustrating, and I'm surprised that these higher ups did not expect this kind of backlash. Judging by the way they reacted, judging by what they did, judging by these protests and stuff, and the comments that some of the higher ups have made, seems like they weren't really expecting this backlash. They're expecting it just kind of like, oh, we're making a Super League, and it'd be like, oh my god, yes. But it's not really the case. It's not the case at all. And I just think this is the rich get richer kind of case. I think it's just a rich get richer kind of case. And it's telling when, you know, those involved directly in the sport, you know, the players, the coaches, managers, all that, they're talking back on it. You know, Klopp is talking back. I feel like that's probably one of the bigger, Jose Mourinho and Klopp were probably some of the bigger ones now, already like voicing their displeasure, right? Because Jurgen Klopp he's a hero for Liverpool now, you know, having brought them a Champions League, Premier League, all that good stuff. And now what's Liverpool gonna do if their manager is not happy? Whether they're gonna sack him? Is he just gonna leave? Now they're gonna lose their manager just because they want to be in the Super League. So it's just like, I'm very curious. It's already been a couple of weeks, not a couple of weeks, a couple of days since this got announced. So I'm curious to see, like, the next month how all this is really gonna play out, how this is really gonna change. I see on the news here on the side that it says Bayern Dortmund. I didn't even notice this. Bayern Dortmund and Leipzig said they do not want to join the Super League. So I mean, that's fair. I mean, respect to them, because I think it just takes out the I don't know how to word it, the sportsmanship of the game, the just the competition. I think it just ruins the competition of the sport. I hope PSG or anyone from Ligue 1 does not get involved. I don't need it. I just want this. I just want it to fail. I really do. I want this to fall through. I want it to fail. I don't want the Super League to go through. And I hope that these people who are putting it together realize that this is just not the right move. This is not the right move. So those are my thoughts on the newly announced Super League. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you think it's going to be good for the sport? Do you think it's going to be bad for the sport? Are you neutral to it? Let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram. Twitter's at BlueHermit1. Instagram is at BlueHermit_. Be sure to share socials with your friends, family, everyone you know. Let people know Blue Hermit's where it's at, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.